empowered by this bold idea, Herzl founded the Zionist Organization and held the first Zionist Congress in Basel, Switzerland, 1897. This was the beginning of a long, difficult journey. Roughly 2 decades later, in 1917, the Balfour Declaration was a public statement made by the British government announcing their support for a national home for the Jewish people. For the first time, Zionism was legitimized by a major power. In the years following, fascist regimes emerged across Europe. Persecution of Jews exploded, and anti-Semitism evolved into outright hatred and murder. The urgency for a Jewish state became pronounced. During World War II, the Nazis systematically killed more than 6 million Jews during the Holocaust. More than 1 million of those were children. Who was there to stand up for the Jews? Who was there to fight the treachery? In the wake of the largest genocide in human history, the United Nations held the future of the Zionist dream in their hands. 70 years ago on this day, in this building, in this very room, the chance to create the state of Israel and the fate of a nation was put up for a vote.
A 2/3 majority was required to pass the proposal. Despite the support of both the United States and the Soviet Union, many other countries needed to be convinced.
You spoke to the Belgian, and you spoke to the Swede, and you spoke to the Brazilian, preaching, explaining why all the time. And the refugees and the displaced people, they call them displaced person in Europe.
There were a number of us working at the same time also and getting votes.
A preliminary vote showed the Jewish Agency delegation coming up short. The diplomatic team focused their efforts on 3 countries that were still undecided: Liberia, Haiti, and the Philippines.
יום אחד אנחנו מקבלים צלצול מהמטה של ההגנה בפריז, הייתה הוראה לחפש בלונדון איזה גוי, והאיש הזה דיבר עם נשיא הפיליפינים שהבטיח לו להצביע בעד, והנה מתברר שהשגריר שלהם בלייק סקסס, הוא לא קיבל הוראה. מצאנו אותו, זה היה כבר מאוחר בלילה, התחלנו להסביר לו שהנשיא לא עמד בדיבורו, והיה שקט, אז התחלנו לשאול מה קרה. אז הוא אומר, תשמע, אני חושב, I'm thinking. מה אתה חושב עכשיו ב3 בבוקר? הוא אומר, אני חושב איזה שעה עכשיו בפיליפינים. ובסוף הייתה שיחה עם נשיא הפיליפינים, והוא הבטח שהשגריר שלו יקבל הוראה.
It was touch and go all the time till you got everything lined up.
Haiti, of all countries, was the last country come to vote. We sent down to Haiti a Protestant minister by the name of Sheldon, who was also believed that the Jews should have a homeland. They went down for 2 or 3 days, and on Wednesday before Thanksgiving, they came back and they said, Haiti will vote with us.
Some people promised and voted against. Some people were pursued by us till the last minute and voted for.
Diplomacy continued up until the vote itself was held.
And there was a South American country, I don't want to tell you which, so our head of the Latin group, an Argentinian Jew who was in the Mishlah, he went to the men's room and he recognized the men's shoes under the door. And he knocked and he said, you promised to vote, they are voting now. I'm here to bring you to the voting. And he voted.
This was Saturday night. Somebody explained it can't be Friday night because En Mashiach Babi Shabbat.
Afghanistan? No. Argentina? Abstention? Australia? Yes. Belgium? Yes. Bolivia? Yes. Brazil? Yes. Belarusia? Yes. Canada? Yes. Chile? Abstention. China? Abstention. Colombia? Abstention. Costa Rica? Yes. Cuba? No. Czechoslovakia? Yes. Denmark? Yes. Dominican Republic? Yes. Ecuador? Yes. Egypt? No. El Salvador? Abstention. Ethiopia? Abstain. France? Yes. Greece? No. Guatemala? Yes. Haiti? Yes. Honduras? Abstain. Iceland? Yes. India? No. Iran? No. Iraq? No. Lebanon? No. Liberia? Yes. Luxembourg? Yes. Mexico? Abstain. Netherlands? Yes. New Zealand? Yes. Nicaragua? Yes. Norway? Yes. Pakistan? No. Panama? Yes. Paraguay? Yes. Peru? Yes. Philippines? Yes. Poland? Yes. Saudi Arabia? No. Siam? Absent. Sweden? Yes. Syria? No. Turkey? No. Ukraine? Yes. South Africa? Yes. Soviet Union? Yes. United Kingdom? Abstain. The United States? Yes. Uruguay? Yes. Venezuela? Yes. Yemen? No. Yugoslavia? Abstain.
The resolution of the DAC Committee for Palestine was adopted by 33 votes, 13 against, 10 abstentions.
After the vote, people were crying, people were embracing.
ואז יצאנו כולנו לרחבה המרכזית של העיר.
They were dancing in the streets. Even the British, I remember one of them came by in a tank, picked up some kids, take them on a ride around.
The British soldier on guard was relieved. He knew, thank God, there's going to be an end to all this. And we said, now let's go into town. So we got a lift on the back of a British armored carrier with a gun. We're now all pals.
We sat in the car, Charlotte, my husband and myself, from Lake Success to Manhattan, and nobody said a word. It was overpowering.
Everybody everybody was streaming towards the Jewish agency. The government in waiting of the state to be headed by David Ben-Gurion.
I have a picture of myself on the roof of the Sochnut building. I don't know how I got there.
And the biggest single horror dance I've ever seen in my life was that dance around that courtyard.
Ben-Gurion, standing on the balcony of the Sochnut building, the heart of Jerusalem, and he raised his hand, and utter silence waited for his words. Tchi HaMedina HaIvrit. He called it the Hebrew state because it had no name, and asked everyone to sing Hatikva.
Whereas for these 20 centuries, we Jews were always the object of history. That is, an object where others made the decisions for us. As of that date onwards, we suddenly become again the subject of history, where we make the decisions for ourselves.
ההרגשה הייתה, מעכשיו מתחיל עולם חדש. עולם שאין בו מגבלות, אין בו בעיות, טוב לכולם.
There you were sitting, and there your country was forming itself as a country.
I remember the moment. Something is now about to happen. The dream of 2,000 years, maybe. I mean, that's when we started imagining what might be.